Recruiters and HR teams tell me all the time that trying to find a great person to add to your organization to be a direct support professional feels like trying to find a needle in the haystack. And then when you are fortunate enough to find that great person, find that person that you're excited to hire, that person that has potential, far too often it doesn't end the way that you want or hope. I hear from people that new hire never even shows up for the first day of onboarding and orientation, or that maybe they did, but they never returned for day number 2. It's demoralizing and confusing. I'm here to help. Hi, I'm Scott T. Fussell from DSP Magnet, and we work with providers that serve and support people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. We teach you how to find, get, and keep more amazing direct support professionals. So in this video, I am going to share 4 simple and practical keys with you to make little but impactful adjustments to that first day experience so that DSPs want to stay. So key number 1, connect before the first day. So many providers will send an email before the first day with some paperwork, some things to expect. And that's a good foundation to start from, but I'm concerned when we rely too heavily on that. Here's why. Have you in team meetings ever complained that, oh my gosh, staff just don't read their email? I hear it from just about every provider out there. Well, if that's the case with current employees, do you expect new employees to be any better about checking their email? It's too easy for it to not be seen, get buried under other messages, go to the spam filter, you name it. New employees aren't necessarily guaranteed to see that email from you that has valuable and helpful information. So that's why I would encourage you to call and text that new employee leading up to their first day, especially if there are a number of days leading up to their first day. Because if there's 3 or more days before they start working there, doubts can creep in. Other potential employers could be reaching out to them and making offers. The person could be getting nervous. They could be sitting there and thinking, oh my gosh, did I make the right decision? I don't know about this. I've never done this before. What if I hurt somebody? I'm not sure that I can do this. Doubts and nervousness can creep in. It's natural. So connect with them multiple times if there are more days leading up to their first day of employment. So connect by phone. Give them a phone call. Go through a checklist of, hey, did you get this? Did you get that? What questions do you have? What could I better clarify? What are you concerned about? Connect with them. Help ease any tension and anxiety they have. And secondly, text them. And I would encourage you just do one simple practical thing to help them out right before that first day. Text them the address of where they are going. Because what's their smartphone going to do? It'll turn it into a link and it will open up their Maps app on their phone and help navigate them to you. And it'll be in their text messages, easy for them to find and be confident they are going to the right place. Second key, the first 30 minutes of that day. Day number 1, first impressions matter. So here are a couple of simple things you can do that will again add up to something much bigger in the grand scheme of things and help them stay. One thing that I see many providers do when we talk about that first day experience is they get motivated to create a simple handout, a little packet with names and photos of employees, because there are a lot of people working for your organization. You're going around meeting so many people, it's hard to remember all the faces and all the names. So it can be incredibly helpful to have that packet that you can reference for those situations when you're like, oh my gosh, I recognize this person. I can't remember their name. I feel bad. It helps them out and feel a little more comfortable and confident. And it's easy to create an update for you. Second thing you can do to make an impact and a good impression in those first 30 minutes. Many providers will give that new employee a little kind of gift bag, and it's a nice gesture. But let's be real for a moment. Many of the things given away often are the kind of things that end up in a junk drawer or the trash can. let's give them something that's going to have an impact. And one thing that I have heard from providers routinely that makes an impact and impression and new employees genuinely appreciate is giving them a gas card. Think about it. Just $25 in a gas card can go a long way, because for many new employees working for your organization, they're doing more driving during those first couple of weeks of employment with you. They're going to the main headquarters. They're maybe going to the location where they're ultimately going to work. They're driving around, meeting new people, completing paperwork, and they're burning through their gas faster than usual. So give them a little gas card. It's something they're going to appreciate and use, and it won't end up in the junk drawer or the trash can. One more simple thing that you can do in that first 30 minutes with the new employee. Ask them, hey, what's one thing that I could do to help make today better, or a good day for you, or just more comfortable? Listen to what they say and take notes on it. Help them out and listen for trends over time. You might hear some common themes from new employees. Anything you can do to make them more comfortable is going to lead to better results in the end. Here's one example of what this can prevent. So recently, an executive from a provider was talking about how on the first day of orientation, she was doing her part. She was talking about the company culture, the company mission, the core values, those sort of high-level things. And at the end, she asked all of the new employees, what questions do you have? And it was silence for a minute. And then very sheepishly, one of the new employees raised his hand and he goes, yeah, I've got a question. When do I work? Nobody's given me my schedule. And she was mortified because she realized two things in that moment. Number one, something very important had fallen through the cracks, and this was a great team. They worked like a well-oiled machine. Everyone there was very knowledgeable, insightful, helpful, and kind. And yet somehow that foundational thing of that new employee schedule had slipped through the cracks. And because that gentleman spoke up, it opened the floodgates. A couple more new employees also said, it's not just him. I didn't get my schedule either. So she realized those things had fallen through the cracks. And because of that, those new employees were feeling more anxious, more nervous, worried that they were going to get in trouble for asking that question, looking foolish, or get in trouble or fired because they didn't show up to work when they were supposed to work because they didn't know. And she realized because of that, they probably hadn't really heard and wouldn't retain anything that she had talked about with the company mission. So we have all these different moving parts, all these different people involved in your onboarding and orientation process. Sometimes those foundational pieces slip through the cracks because you think somebody else has taken care of it. So just by asking that one question, hey, what's one thing that I could do to make you more comfortable or confident today, or make today a good day for you, you can find out some of those things right away in the first 30 minutes and help set them up for success. Key number 3, make it engaging. Now, I realize you face an incredible challenge with onboarding, orientation, and training. You have all these different, very important things that you have to train people on because the individuals you serve and support, their health and safety is at stake. And you have all these rules, requirements, policies, and procedures, and you're trying to cram it in as fast as possible. And it becomes information overload, emotional overwhelm, and when we try and squeeze it all in as fast as we can, people just can't retain it all that first time. And it's not doing you any good if people just run out the door because they're so overwhelmed. So here's what I've heard from DSPs and others at providers when they onboard. They complain about that experience of being stuck in a classroom style setting, sitting at a desk all day, or sitting behind a computer all day and just watching videos. It's not the most engaging educational format for the people that you're hiring. And to add to that, they're less likely to retain it because lecture and those videos, studies show that people only retain about 5 to 20% at most of the information they hear. So you'll want to consider mixing it up to energize and engage people. Do a little bit of lecture. Then how can you get the group talking, or how can you go for a tour around your facility? Meet and engage with some people. Try some of the skills you just learned hands-on so that you apply them after the lecture, so that you keep people moving around, energized and engaged. It's going to lead to better outcomes for you and make things more digestible for those new employees, and avoid that day of hours on end just sitting in an uncomfortable chair listening to lecture, and more lecture. So find ways to break up the training content and engage people and do different things throughout the day. You'll see much better results. And then the fourth and final key, before they leave, there's one simple and powerful question you can ask them. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like better than you could have hoped for, how was your first day? And I would encourage you to have someone who is not that new employee's boss, is not their new boss, to ask this question so that they feel safe to open up and give a genuine answer. Because if you just ask them, well, how was your first day? Most people are probably going to be, yeah, it's okay. They want to be polite. They don't want to hurt your feelings, and they don't want to open up. But when you put that rating on it, hey, how was it? 1, horrible, like worst first day ever. 10 being, oh my gosh, better than I could have hoped for. They're going to think about it, give it a rating, and then explain why they rated it that way. So I would encourage you that if they rated it like a 6 or a lower, just really work to listen to them, to relate to them, to make them feel seen, heard, and understood. And don't race to fix everything. Some of the things you may not be able to fix, but if there's obviously something you can't fix, do your best to help with it. If they said, well, it was about a 7 or an 8, not too bad, pretty good, but not the best ever. Again, listen to their answer, relate to them, and just, try and get them excited about what's coming. Hey, sorry, I know there was a lot of paperwork today. You know how it goes. Hey, tomorrow, here's what you're going to get to do and work on. Highlight something that you hear people get really excited about. And on the off chance that they said it was a 9 or a 10, or even better, sharing that excitement. Oh, I'm so excited to hear that was really great for you. What was one of your favorite parts of today? What made it so outstanding? When you hear those successes or those not so great answers, it's again going to help you better adjust your onboarding and orientation process for the future so that you can create a first day that is a better experience for future direct support professionals. Finally, want to summarize. So, key number 1, connect with that new employee before the first day. Don't just email them, give them a call, give them a text, and you will want to touch base with them more times if there are more days between when they are hired and when they are actually onboarded. Secondly, those first 30 minutes of day number 1 are incredibly important. You can take some easy opportunities to make a good impression. Give them a packet perhaps with photos and names of employees to help make them feel more comfortable and confident, and they can reference that. You can also give them a gas card, and you can ask that question of what's one thing that would make your first day an enjoyable experience or make you more comfortable today. Key number 3, make it engaging. Don't just have a day full of paperwork and lecture. How can you get them up, moving around, meeting people, talking, and connecting? And then fourth and finally, as we just talked about, before they leave, ask them that question on a scale of 1 to 10. How was your first day? So if you found those helpful, please look in the description below and click the link to download our 1-page DSP retention checklist for day 1 to help you create an experience that makes people want to stay. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you soon.